All right, guys, welcome to the Go Pro Leadership training, the 90 day game plan challenge. This is the first time we're doing this, so if a lot of it seems kind of like we're stuttering or we're trying to figure it out at the same time, it's because we're doing it for the first time. I've worked hard at USANA for quite some time now, and I always tell people like, hey, don't look at me now because I'm not working hard like the way I was in the very beginning. Like some people have heard me say stuff like that, and some people say, well, what do you mean, like? I thought you were still working hard. And it was a more concentrated effort in the very beginning. And I think that what we're about to see right now is exactly what I'm talking about. Like now I know how to put it into words because Eric Worre did a fantastic job of basically summarizing all of this and putting it into a training that's very usable for everybody. So for the people that are online, welcome as well. I know we have people from all over the world, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Mexico, Colombia, like literally like all over the world are watching right now, and I'm excited. So welcome, and of course all over the United States. So we have some cross signs on, and of course this is a Global Source Alliance training. So we did open it up to people who are not a part of the organization, and there's going to be some extra requirements for those people. And it's not that I'm trying to really justify it, try to like milk it or whatever the case may be, but it makes sense because this is going to be a lot of work. Okay, so this is not just something where we're kind of like, yeah, we want to be nice and helpful and all that. Like, this is actually going to be really hard work, okay, for the next 5 months. So I think it'll make sense once you see it all. So anyways, okay, my name is Michael Callejas. For those of you guys who don't know me, been in USANA for 8 years, $1 million club member, one of the top 45 income earners in the company, and been doing quite well at this for some time. I think when you track my success in USANA, it really can go back to the very beginning, like the way I got started. I got started and I made a massive push in the very beginning. Like I can remember when I came in, I went gold director within my first 8 weeks. Okay. And a lot of people look at that and say, were you solid? And I tell people, actually, I wasn't. I was not a solid gold director. But think about it. During that time, though, who came in? People like Adam Lee came in. People like Janelin came in. Some key players came in during that time. So even though maybe they didn't mature and develop during that time, but think about it now. Those are some of my top gold directors, Ruby directors, and whatnot. So also during that first year, I didn't really experience a lot of massive success, but I think that quick start got me off on the right path. Also, I want to say by the 4th or 5th month in my business, after I had been working it a little bit, I gave it another 90-day spurt. Like I really focused hard and I worked really, really hard. That's when somebody named Aaron Din signed up. Some of you guys might know him. He's also $1 million club member. He's one of the great stories in USANA, somebody that signed up. And it was somebody that I didn't know before network marketing and I met through this industry. So it's a very encouraging story, right? Because sometimes you think like, man, my friends and family didn't want to do this, but you meet a complete stranger who's now a millionaire in USANA. And it's just one of those great stories that gives hope. So with Aaron Din, when he signed up, I can remember like I made a total commitment when he signed up. Like I kid you not, it was like 3 to 4 months, I want to say, of hard effort. Like we didn't talk about anything else but USANA during this time. And if you look, Aaron Din is one of the legs that never died out. It was a leg that was solid. And now we have diamond directors in that leg, emeralds, which are basically 6-figure positions. Okay. And I will have at least 3 or 4 millionaires within the next couple of years in that organization. So the next experience I can give you guys is when Tomas Artica signed up. I can remember during that time, like, honestly, I can remember feeling tired. Like, no joke. Like, I was 25 years old, something like that. And I can remember, like, feeling exhausted. Like, I was like after presentations, I feel like I needed to catch my breath. Like, at night, I remember I just passed out. I didn't need pure rest then. I was exhausted every single day. And I remember, like, putting mileage on my car and thinking to myself, like, what the heck am I doing? Like, this is crazy, I can't keep this up. But if you look at it, what happened as a result of that? It created a leg. It created a great story. Tomas Artica was the rookie of the year in the company. Basically, he was the top income earner worldwide amongst new associates. So see, once again, that 3-month or 4-month push that we made catapulted us forward. And I was talking to some of Tomas's leaders, and some of them are still getting paid from that initial effort that they did 6-7 years ago. I mean, think about it. You're still getting paid for something that you did 6 to 7 years ago. How cool is that? So Eric Worre talks about it, and we're going to learn about it today. But I want you guys to understand that when you look at people that are saying, man, this business is just so hard. You got to always work hard. You got to hustle. You got to hustle. I think people need to understand that it's spurts. It's like 90-day blitzes. You go hard for a certain period of time, And don't underestimate what you can do in 90 days. You can do a lot, but it's about really focusing on the right things, having a plan, and executing that plan all the way. So that's what we're going to learn, okay, over the next few weeks. We're going to be really prepping you guys to see who wants to take a commitment like that. But can you imagine, let me ask this question really quick, and I think this will be like the most important question of the day. If I can show you a way, okay, to make a 6-figure income in 1 year, but you have to work your butt off for 90 days, how many of you guys would make a sacrifice and do that?
Of course.
Okay? So think about it. A lot of us make a sacrifice when we go to school, right? We dedicate a whole quarter of our lives, right? I mean, a quarter of a year to really focusing on school, studying, and going to all the classes and studying for midterms and doing all this stuff for what? To get an A in the class. I'm talking about a concentrated effort for 3 months. Like, I know people that I talk to, I'm like, hey, you want to come and check out a presentation? Oh, it's midterms, bro. I can't do anything. Like, don't even bother me right now. Right. You see, those people are in the zone. And that's exactly what I'm talking about during USANA. Like, I can remember missing, birthday parties and missing things like that. And some people were upset and some people didn't understand. But now, like, I look back and think, man, it was all worth it. Now I can make all those parties. I can make everything. It's like I was able to build the residual income to be able to have a quality of life. And I think that's what it's about. So, anywho, that's an important question. Would you be committed for 90 days if you can make a 6-figure income? And if the answer is yes, then really pay attention. Okay, pay attention to this presentation. So let's go ahead and start off here. All right, so first of all, I want to welcome you guys. Of course, our mission and purpose is to create positive learning environment and experience, which members are empowered to develop leadership, communication skills, thus resulting in personal growth and development. So that's what we want to do for you guys. We don't want to just teach you guys stuff. We want to make it fun. We want to make it where you can apply it in other areas of your life as well. But we want to make it an overall good experience. Okay. Second part, professional development. Okay. So number one, we want to make sure that when you guys are working with us, you guys are presentable. So dress for success. I mean, I understand we're not going to come in suits and ties and all that stuff, but still, like, dress for success. Try to be presentable. So I appreciate that all of you guys made the effort. Okay. Number two is obviously be punctual. We want to start making that a habit. And I know I'm very nonchalant when it comes to times nowadays, but in the very beginning, I can remember, like, being on top of things. If you guys were with me in Colombia, it was the very beginning. We were on time, man. It was not 8:01, it was 8 on the button. So you guys have to understand that in the very beginning, if you're going to do a 90-day blitz, it's going to be all out and it's going to be punctual. All right. Number three, fully participate, be engaged. Like, don't just show up and fill a spot. Does that make sense? Like, you need to really be here, like, mentally, like, be in the game. Like, think about, how am I going to use this information? Like, this is the knowledge that's going to help me make 6 figures. So really pay attention. Like, don't psych yourself out. I know what it's like sitting there thinking, oh, this is a lot. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And you start thinking too much. Just relax, okay? Relax and just be here and take the information in, digest it. If something doesn't make sense, ask questions. Hey, you know what? I don't understand that. Hey, hold on. Could you explain that again? What do you mean by that? Like, we want people to be engaged during these trainings. Nothing worse than not understanding something and still continuing on, because now you stop listening. Let me ask you the question. Have you guys ever watched a movie before and you just didn't watch the beginning, and now you kind of feel like you're missing something the whole time, and it's just not a comfortable feeling to watch a movie when you started like 10 minutes late. I hate it. Like, when I watch a movie, I have to go watch the previews too, or else I feel like I missed something, So it's really important to be engaged and participate. Number 4, we talked about it already. Turn off your cell phones, messaging. I know some people like to, just kind of check and, see if somebody messaged them real quick and update something. And, like, really during these trainings, you don't want to do that, And I think that nowadays it's hard, it's hard for people. It's hard for me too, to, like, be away from my phone. Like, I catch myself sometimes, like, completely zoned into my phone, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta make an effort. Like, I'm having a conversation with someone, and I'm like texting with one hand, and you just have to make that conscious effort, okay? Especially during these trainings, because we want to make sure we're productive at the time. All right, number 5, use restrooms during breaks, before or after. Like, try not to stand up, like, and I know that sounds kind of like, what? Like, what happened? When you gotta go, you gotta go. I'm letting you know right now, like, just make it an effort. Say, hey, you know what? I got to use the restroom because I can't miss anything. Like, I literally can't miss a word of what they're going to say. So make that an effort, All right, number 6, confidentiality agreement. I think some people are going to be very open here. Okay, so as you guys are open with us, we want to make sure that information stays in the room. Some stuff that people say is going to be very private, whether it's personal, financial, or even in their own USANA businesses. So we want to trust that you guys are not taking that information and abusing it somewhere. Make sense? Like, don't put people's personal life outside of this business or outside of this room even. Like, let's make sure that we're very respectful to that. All right. And number 7 is have fun. We want you guys to enjoy yourselves as well. Okay. So try to have fun with this, etc. All right. Next, eligibility. These are some things that you guys have to keep in mind when you're working this. Obviously, we're going to post this stuff online. You guys might want to write it down if you have the time, but if not, we will post it up. So there's going to be certain requirements, and we got this from Anna Lozano. It was very good. I thought that it was effective. She has something called the 3 strikes rule, and I think that's good. You know, we're not very mean here at USANA. Of course, we want to be very encouraging to people, but at the same time, when you don't set that expectation, what happens? I don't know about you guys, but at my job, whatever they would let me get away with, I would get away with. Do you guys understand? Like, if they didn't say anything for something, I would keep doing it until somebody told me something, and if they warned me but they didn't really get on me, then I wouldn't really, I wouldn't really care. But if I ever got written up, or if I ever got something, like, believe me, that was probably the last time I ever did it. So keep that in mind, that you want to make sure that, we have some type of requirements here where people take it serious, because if you take it serious, it's going to pay you serious. So all of this has to do with the attitude and how you treat your business. So the first thing it's going to be is we want to make sure that here, if you want to continue on, like once we get the ball rolling and stuff, right? We want to make sure that people here have a minimum of $25 every week. That means that you're making a check every week. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, we felt that this was very low requirement. Okay. We felt like, man, $25 a week? That's low. Like, we should have made it higher. We should have made it $200 or more. But we want to get people into the habit, at least in the very beginning. Can you imagine if you just have people in your group that are making a check every single week? If everybody's making a check every single week, what's going to happen? It's going to create momentum. It's going to create explosiveness. So we want to make sure that that's in the back of your mind. So $25 minimum. If you don't meet a $25 minimum requirement every week, we're gonna write you guys up, so to speak, so you get 1 strike, and we'll let you know, like, hey, we checked, and last week you didn't make a paycheck. What happened? If you guys, we were talking with Scott this morning, and we said to make a $25 check, if you have some points carrying over on one side, all you have to do is sell 2 resets on your other side, and that will make you at least a $25 check. So if you're not promoting, at least a reset or 2 or some customers or something, then you're probably not really doing anything with your business. And if you're not doing anything, that's why you're never going to get the traction that's required to, start taking off, so to speak. All right. The next one is attend all sessions. All right. Whether it's online or in person, we want to make sure that you guys are attending the sessions here. It's important. You can't miss any of these sessions. If you're going to do it, if you have to miss one, hey, something came up, your kid got sick, it was something devastating that you just couldn't make it, that's fine. If you missed 2, hey, we're letting you know, man. Let's say you didn't make a check and you missed the same week. That's 2 strikes. It's possible to even have 3 strikes and you're out in the same week. It's like, that's it, man. It's over. Like, you started and you were done as quick as you started. So we're letting you guys know, like, be conscious of these things. Set the expectation. Hey, set the expectation for your people too. Don't you want them to be moving forward? And, if you don't set the expectation in the very beginning, then people don't know what they need to focus on. So these are just some things to kind of give you guys some benchmarks. All right, complete all weekly activities. We're going to give a little homework every week, right? Personal development tasks. Make sure you read this book. Make sure you listen to this audio. Make sure you fill out this form. Something. We're going to obviously have things to do every week. Make sure you come back, but you bring this with you. Just stuff like that. If you miss a homework assignment, hey, that's what's right? So it's okay. But I'm letting you know, like, if it happens 2 times, 3 times, that's it. It's over. It's over. And all of this is going to be taking place when? Starting now, because we want to make sure that by the time we get to April 5th, which is our launch date, okay? I'm sorry, April 6th. So by the time we get to April 6th, which will be officially day 1, and all that's going to make sense in a minute, but by the time we get there, we want to make sure that we have the cream of the crop left. Don't be offended if that's not you. That means that it just wasn't your time right now, that you weren't ready to take that step and make that commitment. And I understand, okay? It happens. A lot of people look at this business. I can give you guys so many stories. People that were not serious, and now they are. Abby Gomez, I think, is a great story. She got started, obviously, many years ago, looked at the business. She knew it was a good thing, but the timing wasn't right. And now she's a top producing associate, right? She's a gold director, making really consistent checks, qualified for gold retreat, on her way to executive gold. I think that's a big deal. So all of these things show that if it's not your time, no need to commit like USANA suicide. It's just, it wasn't your time, okay? So maybe you weren't in the mental place to make it happen. But I think if you showed up today, it shows that you want to be in the mental place, right? That's why you showed up. You wouldn't have taken the time to come or to be online if that wasn't the case. All right, the last one. It says here, enroll for associates by April 5th. I think this one's going to be a real test because some of you guys have hit Platinum Paysetter already. But we want people to basically hit Platinum Paysetter all over again. And the reason why is because we want you to have a group of people to work with so that come April 5th, April 6th, you have people to work with to launch your company forward. Okay? Excuse me. So that's another important thing. Next, promotions. During these times, we want you guys to get promoted. So if you're below the level of director, basically achiever, builder, believer, or sharer, or BC, that means that you're a lower rank, before April 5th, by April 5th, we want you to move up to director. That's the expectation that we're setting for you guys. So make sure that that's in the back of your mind. Like you want to get rank advanced by then in order to be into the elite where we're really focusing on you and literally holding by your hand and really running with you on this project. Okay, there's a lot of cool stuff that we're going to talk about, especially for the people that are local. If you're out of state and online, it's still going to be really exciting, but there's a couple of extra little perks if you're local. All right, guys, and I'll get into that in a second. Next is director. If you're already a director or a bronze director, then the expectation is to move up to silver. Okay, well, you got to get up to silver by April 5th. Okay, that's the expectation. And last but not least, if you're already a silver director, we wanted to make it very simple for silvers because you've obviously worked hard and you deserve it, but we still wanted to set an expectation, right? So we don't want you to get off the hook that easy. So we said to make 1,000 CVP collectively from now until April 5th. Okay, so it literally means to make a couple of $100 to $200 a week up until that point. So I don't think it's going to be very hard, okay, for a silver to do, but still wanted to set that expectation, okay, at the very least. All right, moving on. The timeline. We'll be meeting every Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. You know, some people felt that that was the best time. I agree. You know, you got your family stuff out of the way. Sunday's a day that we shouldn't be working. It's for obviously your spirituality and your family, and you want to, you know, give yourself one day of a breather, right? Monday's the beginning of the week. That's where we want to start getting everybody on the right track and making that push for the whole week. Okay, so 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. Some of the people on the East Coast, it's not easy for them because people in Canada and Toronto, I mean, it's 10, that's 10 p.m. to midnight for them. All right, so they're literally staying up really late to watch these trainings. And I feel sorry for them, but that's the way it's going to go. Okay, pre-launch phase, February 10th through April 5th. So what is pre-launch? Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. You guys are going to watch the videos right now, and it's all going to make sense. Official launch phase, April 6th to July 5th. That's roughly about 90 days. All right, guys, so that's the time when we're going to make the total commitment, and Eric Worre is going to talk about it. But just to make it really, really clear real quick, what does that mean? From now until April 5th, we're going to be working. We're going to be getting things going, trainings, tasks, assignments, small promotions, enrollments, basically what you're doing right now, but more focused, okay? But come April 6th, it's no longer going to be just like that. It's going to be a total commitment. And Eric Worre talks about it. So if you work full-time, you can still do it. You're going to go to work full-time, and you're going to be USANA full-time as well. Now, if you don't have a job, and you don't have anything, it's going to be like madman or madwoman hours. He says 16 hours a day. Okay, and I know that sounds kind of scary. He's going to explain it in a second. Okay, so whatever he's saying to do, I'm going to be doing too. So I'll be working right alongside with you guys. Okay, so anyway, so that means no movies. That means no TV, no Walking Dead. You know, I got to record stuff. You know what I mean? I can't watch the Kings play. I can't go to hockey games. I can't, you know, it's like I'm really going to make that sacrifice. Okay. Anyways, with GSA membership. All right, this is for the people who are cross-site members. If this doesn't interest you, it's okay. You know, remember, guys, we're trying to do this, and I said it's going to be a lot of work. If you're a part of the GSA crew, okay, or a part of Wave Makers, then you're okay. But everybody beyond that, we're going to have to start, obviously, charging for some of these services because it's going to be a lot of work, and we want to make sure that we're not watering down our services. We want to make sure that we're giving everybody the time and the dedication that they deserve for putting in their hard-earned, you know, their hard-earned time, right, or their effort. So full access to online tools. We're going to have PowerPoint presentations that you guys can use for future trainings. Because after these 90-day periods, I mean, you guys are going to go do your own 90-day period sometime in the future, right? You could use the same PowerPoints. You could use the same material. You could use the same stuff. So all of that's going to be available for all of you guys. Obviously, if you're in our team, it's free of charge. Okay, so there's no worries there. But if you're a cross-line member, it won't be for free. All right, access to weekly events, health and freedoms and trainings. Keep in mind, we got to get the link out to you. We got to make sure that we post it for you. We got to, you know what I mean? We got to follow up with you and all this stuff. So if you're a cross-line member, you'll have access to all the weekly events. You'll know where all the meetings are. You can attend any of them. And we'll also have them on GoToMeeting, so you can dial in and bring your guests on. And we'll be presenting, we'll be training, we'll be doing all of that stuff, okay? Next is access to the GSA Elite Facebook group. So this is where we do more like hands-on stuff and more leadership and development to make people leaders to grow USANA. Because remember, if you're a six-figure earner, do you think you're a leader in this company? I think so, okay? I mean, think about it this way. If you're a six-figure earner in any company, I think you're a leader in that company. Okay, I don't think they just hand them out, right? They don't just hand out six-figure salaries. All right, guys, so I'm letting you guys know. So if you want to become a six-figure earner here, it's going to be you're stepping into a leadership position here. Like you're looking at USANA almost like a career almost. Okay, and this is where it gets pretty interesting, I think, for some. All right, next is you're going to have, this is all good for you guys, for people that are involved in GSA. If you make it into the elite group, right, where you're a part of this 90-day program and Blitz, we're going to give you guys, okay, 2 one-hour sessions. So we're going to give you guys a training session so we can meet with you guys either on the phone, online, or in person, one-on-one, 1 hour. You don't have to take advantage of it, but if you want to, say, Mike, I want to go ahead and schedule my 1 hour personal time. Well, hey, we're going to be there, and we're really going to look at everything, analyze everything, put you on the clock for 1 hour, and really just go over any type of issue that you have in your business. I think those are very powerful. Okay, just a 1 hour like overall evaluation to see where you're at, see what you need to be focusing on, etc. Solving problems in your business, helping you get better at certain things, etc. All right. So for all of that stuff, okay, if you guys are wondering, I'm sorry, the two 1 hour private sessions, you can start them as early as now, okay, all the way up until the end of the until the end of the 90-day commitment. So for cross-line members, we felt that, I mean, we played with this, okay? We said it should be, at first we said, this is a crazy number, okay? At first we said $5,000. I kid you not. Because it's a lot of work for Scott, okay? And for myself too. Like, I kid you not. It's very time consuming. And I don't want to take away time from you guys that are a part of my own organization, right? My downline organization. I mean, gosh, I should be focusing on my group. But at the same time, I really want to be helpful for USANA and all this other stuff. So here's how we're going to do it. It's good. We said 2,000, then we felt, I know, but $2,000 like for a part-timer and all that. This is what we said. You know what? We'll make it $1,000. We felt that $1,000 was low still, but we felt that, you know what, we'll give it a shot. Now, what is this $1,000 going towards? A lot of stuff is just to create material, okay? Create PowerPoints, hire designers, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, okay? Editing time for videos. All of this takes time and it's effort, and sometimes we have to pay people to do it. Designing PowerPoints, I don't know if you guys know, but Tomas got us a great deal on our PowerPoint, but even a great deal was thousands of dollars, okay? So we have to pay all this stuff, and I'm just letting you guys know it's not something that's free. So we've done it for free for a long time, and I hope you guys have noticed that for the cross-line members. We've never charged. This is the first time that we're ever charging for anything that we do. So I hope people take it, and it's fine. Obviously people don't have to participate, but we're letting you guys know. Okay, and there's other things that we're going to do with the money as well. Okay, so anywho, from February to July 5th, that's what you're paying for that entire time. Okay, you're getting all access to everything that I just mentioned. All right, week 2, personal development. All right, so we're going to talk about building your belief, because that's important. You need to make sure you believe in the industry, company, products, and yourself. We're going to get you through the 4 stages leadership assessment, which we're going to show you guys right now, but we're going to really cover it next week. Okay, and we're going to go through prospecting pro training, which is stage 1. So some of the stuff is like, oh, you're using all these crazy terms. I don't get the terms. Don't worry about the terms. I'm just letting you guys know what's coming up in the future. All right, so next week we're going to talk about getting you to believe in this company more. Believe it or not, that's an important thing. All right, you're going to take a leadership assessment next week as well. So there's some things that you have to do before you come back. Okay, the leadership assessment is this. This is the leadership assessment. So next week, not all of you guys are in the same boat. Like some of you guys are sharers to believers. Some of you guys are builders to achievers. These are the ranks, right? The promotions in the company. See, some of you guys that don't understand the terminology, it's because you're still new. Some of you guys that already get the terminology, you're like, yeah, I get it, I got you. They've been involved a little bit longer. So when we do this assessment next week, we're going to break it up into 4 groups. You know how sometimes we break it up into personality profiles? We're not going to do it like that. We're going to break it up into leadership profiles, where some of you guys are in the stage 1 of the training, meaning that you're making $50 to $100 a week, right? You're a sharer to believer pin. You're going to be on one side of the room. Okay? Other people that are making $200 to $400 a week, put you guys in another side of the room. Other people making $600 to $800, another side of the room, and then $1,000 to and beyond, another side of the room. So we'll split it up in order so we give different tasks to different groups. Does that make sense, guys? We can't give every group the same task. Can you imagine I'm talking to somebody who's already in a leadership position, like Abby? Abby's in a different position. Abby's obviously the girl I mentioned before. A gold director, brand new, going executive gold very soon. She's already, I want to say, between stage 3 and 4. So some of the tasks that she needs to accomplish are not tasks of that of a new person. Like, hey, prospect Abby, go prospect Abby. She obviously still needs to do that, but she needs to focus more on other things at this point if she wants to get her team to the next level. Okay? So there you go. That was a little introduction. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to watch the Eric Worre videos. So this part, I saw the videos already. I'm obviously going to watch them with you guys again. Okay? But I want you guys to really pay attention to these videos. There's 5 videos, and each video is like 6 minutes to 10 minutes long. Okay? I think by the end of the first video, you might be kind of intrigued. I like the fact that Eric, how many of you guys have seen these videos already? All right, so one of you guys have seen them. All right, so here's the thing. Eric Worre, I like this because at first I was like, you know what, he's kind of stuttering a little bit, he's kind of nonchalant or whatever. But the crazy thing though, is that he's just really just speaking raw. Like he's telling you what you need to do to make it. And after watching this, I really felt like, you know what, Scott and I have been talking about this. Obviously, USANA's going well for me. Some of you guys saw my check last week in USANA. I had a $16,000 commission week. It's a pretty good week, right? And I'll let you guys know that even after that, I still felt like, how do we go bigger, man? Do you guys understand? Like, I'm still thinking, like, how do we do more? How do we help more people? I'm still thinking about that. And I told Scott, I think we need to just start with the leaders, because everything rises and falls on leadership. If the leaders are doing well, then they're going to help their people. And if they're helping their people, it's going to trickle down. So I felt like, okay, we got to start some kind of a leadership course. And me and Scott, I was laying over there in the couch in the other room, and I was just scratching my head. I was bouncing some ideas off of Scott. And, you know, we were kind of struggling almost, because we thought, what kind of program can we put together for people? Because we don't want to, like, use guinea pigs. Does that make sense? Like, we don't want to say, all right, let's just try it out on these guys and see if it goes well. Like, no, we want to bring something to the table that's proven already, right? So, ironically, I spoke to I think he's a director in USANA. So he's not even like, he's somebody who's coming up. I think he's going to be a very big star in this company. But he was talking to me. He goes, Mike, have you heard this 90-day game plan? And I was like, I've never heard of it. He goes, it's by Eric Worre. I was like, no, get that out of here. So he's like, watch these videos. So he sent me the link. I saw the first video, and I was hooked. I thought, yes, this is speaking my language. I saw all the videos, and I kid you not, within an hour, we had this posted up, and we were already promoting it. And he sent me a message, and he goes, damn, bro, you were fast. Because I kid you not, he was like, I just told you about it, and you already got the whole thing rolling? I told him, we've been thinking about this already for some time. We just didn't have the language. But now the language is here. Okay, so let's go ahead and launch Eric Worre's video here. We're going to go ahead and play. Welcome back. Okay. Did you guys like that first video? Are some of you guys kind of tripping out already? It sounds scary, right? Some of you guys are probably getting scared already. Some of you guys are wondering, how? Tell me how. And I kid you not, like, this is my view after the first time I saw it. I thought, come on. Because, of course, I'm going to be skeptical, right? Like, I wanted to be kind of skeptical because I thought, there's no way that in a few minutes he's going to show me how to do it. This business takes a lot of work to explain, but he does a great job. Okay? So, anybody want to share something? Just really quick. A minute of feedback. Something that you got out of it?
I kind of have it as an analogy of losing weight. And when I lost weight like 2 years ago, it was in just 3 months. Like, we were going to Vicky in the boot camp. And I was like overweight for 2 years. And I was like, all right, I'll just make that commitment, do whatever they say. those 3 months, I lost like 30 pounds, and I was like, 3 months changed it, my health, and I think the 90 days, I see it's possible.
It's kind of like P90X almost. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a USANA P90X type thing. Very true, very true. Yeah.
I know there's a lot of media programs out there, like P90X. There's obviously other like MLM plans that I've seen that are 90 days. But I think the thing that makes it different with Eric Worre is when he said 24 years, it's kind of like you had me at 24 years. Right. You got to think of someone that's had the ups and downs in network marketing and stayed in for 24 years. Sure. I mean, that's coming from a really good place of having been everywhere and doing all that to be able to, put together a 98 plan. More than likely works as opposed to some other 98 program where it's like, who are you, where have you been? Exactly.
I like that. I like that. That's true because we do see a lot of trainers out there, right? Like, oh, hey, I want to be your life coach. You're like, okay, cool. And they start coaching you and they say, I want to be your USANA coach. But show me what you've done in this industry. And a lot of people don't have that experience. They can't speak to you from where I've done it. And he's done it and lost it all and done it again. So I think that's very impressive with Eric Worre. Okay. So we'll go ahead and leave on that note. I did like what he talked about where he said, don't underestimate what you can do in 90 days. Like truly, there's a lot that can be done. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with the first step now. All right. That one was important. Okay. That's a really, really important video because that sets the tone for everything. Like even though it was kind of quick, 4 minutes, real fast, but that does set the tone. So let me go ahead and start it off. If you guys want to go ahead and chime in on anything, let me know. So what are my goals? So obviously I've already seen the videos, right? So I had time to really think about it. I prayed about it. I slept on it. I really thought, okay, what do I really want? So I'll go ahead and lay it out for you. This is obviously a good thing for some of you guys because your goals are going to be my goals. All right. As far as rank goes, I already made my rank advancement for this year. Right now it's about solidification and going executive. But my goal as far as rank advancements is creating new goals. Okay. So if you're a cross-line member, hey, if you're going to be one of those people, then you're going to be one of those people. But it's a guaranteed slam dunk, okay? By the end, by July 5th, I'm going to have 4 new goal directors. 4 new goals. That's a milestone, FYI. So it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get that to happen. That's what we're telling people that they have to make a commitment, a financial commitment, because there's no way we can do that type of work. You know what I'm saying? Like just because, for charity. All right, so 4 new goals. We're going to create 8 new silvers. So this is the rank goal, okay? And my goal is obviously ranks for my team. Now the next thing it talks about team, all right? On July 5th, we're going to host a big event. We have the XRC coming up in April 5th. That's an XRC, it's a big event. So we have, that's the end of our pre-launch. That's where we celebrate and we go, okay, let's see how we're doing so far, right? But by July 5th, excited? By July 5th, we have, so and this is 4 new golds, 8 new silver directors. It could be in GSA or crossline. We're not going to judge at that point. People that make a commitment with us, we're going to treat you like if you're our own at that point. Okay? So if you guys look at these numbers, these are my numbers. Next is team. I'm going to go based off of how many people are going to be at an event. That's my goal. All right? At the July 5th event. I know it's a weekend, like a holiday weekend, and people take off, and people are traveling, and all that sort of stuff. Okay, but I'm talking about from our organization only. Not crossline members. I'm talking about people who are online as well. But of course, we're going to have a local event, right? So with the local event, including people who are going to patch in online, the goal is to have 250 people at the event. So I want to have 250 people at our event on July 5th. That's our goal. Usually we have about 100, 200 people, whatever the case may be, but it's open though. Like we invite cross lines to come and whatever the case may be. I want to see 250 people that are a part of this project at that event. Okay? And then the next event after that is International Convention. So I already have my eyes set on that as well. So I know I need to hit this if I'm going to hit the next mark after that. Okay, next is money. Okay, so this is the goal. My goal is to make between April 5th to July 5th, the goal is to make $100,000. 100K. All right, so to make $100,000 in those 90 days. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah. That's almost about $1,000 a day, right? Okay, so I want to get that much done because that'll get me to qualify for the elite. That's what's cool about this, all right? It starts in April, which is the first week of the new quarter for USANA. So if you guys are thinking like, what does that mean for executive ranks? It's to qualify for that quarter. Because to hit executive, you have to do it in a quarterly period. Quarterly means like a 3-month period, right? So for me, this is a good thing because if I make a push like that, I already have an elite bonus under my belt. But I think it would be good to make a push to get a higher elite bonus. So that's what I'm going to make a push for. So if I make 100 grand within those 90 days, it might push me into the 4th quintile. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. As far as prestige, I think the one body thing is a good benchmark for all of us to look at. They're very known, they're very loud, they have a team pride, a team culture type thing. I'm not trying to do that. Make sense? But I still want to see anybody who has their own organization, I want to see those organizations thrive a lot bigger. So I know we have the Team West, I know we have LGN, I know we have the pros with Tomas and everything else. So we have all these small organizations. I want to see those organizations really thrive. Make sense? So it's kind of like when we see one body, like we see Team West, like right there with one body. Does that make sense as far as size goes? Yeah. Where we see LGN size-wise competing with this one body organization. Does that kind of make sense to you guys? So that's the prestige for me. As far as recruiting numbers, I'm not going to say anything on that yet. I think that's something that we have to talk to the teams and really set those goals out. But as you guys can see, I have my goals, right? So this is what I'm striving for within my 90-day period. Okay, to make $100,000, 250 people at my event, right? 8 new silvers, 4 new golds. So now you kind of have to have, what are your goals set? Now some of you guys, it's pretty easy. If you're a silver director, what should be your goal? So it's going to be to go gold. If you're already a gold, okay, if you're already a gold, the goal is to be an executive gold. To be an executive gold during the 2nd quarter, that means that you have to make, if I'm not mistaken, a little over $7,000. Or I'm sorry, $13,000. $13,000 within a 3-month period. That's how you go executive gold. Some of you guys are getting nervous. You're shaking in your boots already. I'm telling you right now, if we're on it the way Eric Rory talks about, there's nothing to be afraid of. Because when you make a total commitment, there's nothing to be afraid of. You make something happen. Just like Randy talked about with his weight loss goal. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to go ahead and discuss your goals later. So this will obviously be a homework assignment. So write this down. All right, you guys saw the way he has it. You got to write your goals down. Now Scott sent out a leadership assessment. 10 of you guys filled it out already. Not everyone filled it out. That's okay. Some of you guys weren't aware what it was. You didn't know. All of that stuff, that's all fine. So, but after today, you are now aware. So we posted the link on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook for whatever reason, because you just are not digging that, then you need to leave your email so that we can start connecting with you via email and send you the link so you can fill out the leadership assessment. Some of these leadership assessments are very cool. I saw them already. I'll share Arabelle's a little bit. All right, I saw Arabelle's. I saw what her why is. I saw her assessment. I saw what her goals are. And I could see where her goals are great, but we need to redefine them a little bit to make them more clear so we can have a target exactly what we need to do. So anyways, it was good though. It was good. See, we need these leadership assessments because we can't help you if we don't know what you want. Does that make sense? We need to know what you guys want, right? You guys know what I want. Yeah, but don't be happy for me. It's like, what about you guys, right? We want to be working on your goals. All right. All right. What did you guys think of that? Now, do you guys understand what we're kind of doing? Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
That's for pre-launching. Is this for somebody you're barely introducing your business to?
Well, he said that you could do it for somebody who you're barely introducing. I think when I'll give you an example. When Tomas got started, I think we did have like a pre-launch. We didn't call it that, but I can remember Tomas telling his people, like, look, I'm not even going after my big hitters right now. Right now, I'm going after my friends and family. And I'm giving you guys all an opportunity, ground floor, before I go after my bigwig friends and I really start taking this thing serious. So for like the first month or two, we were just going after friends and family, people that he trusted, people that he loved. And through that, we were able to go Ruby. Okay, so it was like our pre-launch phase was a massive success. So when we finally got to the point where we were launching, we had a big team already. So by then, we're like, well, we have so many people to work with. Let's just keep it going with this. Now, there were, keep in mind, this is back when I was like 2-3 years in. It wasn't, not a lot of experience. So how do you get something like that to, because he went like this, so how do you keep it going, right? To where you get to that $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 income annually. Well, that's what he's going to talk about. So it could happen for somebody who's just getting started. And he mentioned it, right? When's a good time to start your pre-launch? He said when you're brand new, it can happen. You can say, hey, look, like I'm really going to go after this starting April 5th or April 6th. I just signed up in this company, but we're not even going all out yet. Right now, we're just, getting the foundation laid out. We're looking for people who really want to make a massive push, people who are looking to make a six-figure income by the end of 2014. I mean, that's the detailed description, right? We're looking for people who want to make an extra $1,000 a week by the end of June, by July 5th. We're looking for people who want to start with us in April and who want to end with us in the end of June and July, and by that time be making already $1,000 a week. That's what we're looking for right now. So are you interested in that? Yes, I'm interested. Okay, cool. Then I need you to become a part of this business. Become a part of the inner circle so that we can start training you and developing you to make that push starting April 5th. Do you guys get me? It's kind of like that's what you're telling people, right? You're hyping them up and they're like, okay, shoot, like let's go with this. That's when we started setting those little criteria already. Like you got to make a check every week. As you can see, like we're not even making it too difficult for people. All right. Eric Worry says what? How many people does he say to get in? 20. He said to get. Oh, what did she say?
10 for the 20.
She said 220, which is correct. Okay, 220 is right. He said you can get 20 people, and each of those 20 can get 10. See, that's if you're going hard though, right? Like if you're really going out there and like let's just say you're dedicating 4 to 5 hours a day. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but is it worth it? If you're dedicating 4 to 5 hours a day, really getting on those appointments, setting those appointments, meeting with people, getting them all aligned, right? And doing whatever you can do. Some of you guys already have good events. I know that Abby has a good event going on already once a week. Maybe it's time to shift gears a little bit, right? Instead of once a week, do it two times a week. Maybe do it 3 times a week, right? If you have that much traffic coming in, you might need to do more events, okay? Maybe some people that are full-timers need to step up more, and now they need to do more one-on-ones. But I believe that you can get 20 people in by the pre-launch phase. Now, if it's possible to get 20, then it's definitely possible to get 10. So if you got 20 and everybody got 10, that is 220, right? Because the 200 new ones plus the 20 existing ones. So how crazy is that? Just so you guys know, FYI, if you guys saw my number is 250, right? Why do you guys suppose that is? Well, because I feel conservatively, by the end of my pre-launch, I'm going to have 220 people already. By my pre-launch. That's why I'm rallying my troops. Make sense? I'm already rallying my troops because in a sense, you guys are the troops. And I'm going out there and finding new troops myself. So I'm going to be personally sponsoring 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 people during this time, right? Even 20 people. I'm probably going to be able to sponsor 20 people during this pre-launch phase by myself, right? And then I have my existing associates getting their people riled up. Everyone, this could be a massive push, like a really massive push. Like we can go to convention this year and just completely dominate. Like it's totally possible, but it's going to start with this. All right. Any other questions? I like that question though. He covered it, but what might make it a little bit more clear? Yeah, that's okay.
So Hector online said you probably already talked about a little bit. I've got a little doubt, and I hope you can clear it. Eric talks about giving a detailed description about what's going on and happening in the campaign. So I don't really understand what the description is going to be about.
Okay, awesome, good question. The next video is going to talk about the detailed description. So in a sense, it's kind of like what I mentioned with Alexis's question, where I said, hey, right now we're looking for people who want to make a 6-figure income. Did you guys notice? I led with that, right? I started with that. And that's the way I'm going to start with people. No joke, I've been talking to people like with a more serious tone. Because I've always known that USANA works. Like I have no doubt about it, okay? My only doubt is the commitment that people will make. See, that's where I doubt it, okay? Like let me give you an example. We talked about this and going back to the detailed description. And I'll make sure I answer that more, and especially after you see Eric Worry's video, Hector, it'll probably make more sense. But let me give you guys an example. How many of you guys have ever talked to somebody and they say, well, I'd like to do this, but I'm thinking about getting my nursing degree, and You know, and that's more my focus right now. You know what I'm saying? Have you guys ever talked to someone like that? And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But when somebody says that, what do? You automatically almost retract, right? You retract and you say, oh, okay, I got you. And you kind of let them go with it. And that's the end of it. Make sense? Like you just go, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, you already got your life figured out. This is not for you. This is for people who have no clue in life. Do you guys understand? Like I feel that sometimes we feel that way. Like, oh no, he's already good. Like, he's gonna be an accountant. He's fine. He doesn't need this. Do you guys get me? That's why you're not achieving the success. Because the people who are already focused and willing to work hard, you're letting them go. If anything, you want to grab the people who are focused and willing to work hard. Okay? I met with somebody, there's no relation, okay? Like she's not my cousin or anything, but she has the same last name as I do. Okay, so ironically, right? How many Callejas do you mean? Okay, but she's a friend. And we met, and she said, you know what, I was thinking about going to nursing and getting my nursing degree and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, it came over me like the right words came out. Normally, I would never say this. Okay, like it's just not in me to say that because I'm already making a lot of money. It was on Friday. I had just gotten a $16,000 check. You swear, I want to close a freaking 3 business center and twist somebody's arm. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not about it. But, like, I felt like I needed to say something because she's the one that reached out to me. And she said, you know what, I really need to make extra cash, and I want to do this, and da-da-da. I was like, okay. And then she said, yeah, but I'm thinking about going to nursing. And it straight up came out. And I said this, I said, hey, honestly, if I told you can make $100,000 a year guaranteed by the end of 90 days, would you still be a nurse? And she goes, well, is it a guarantee? I said, if I guarantee it, though. I mean, 90 days from now. You give me 90 days. Put your nursing on hold for 90 days for me. Put it on hold for 90 days. Give me that 90-day commitment. And I'll show you that you can make more than you could ever make as a nurse. Would you give me that commitment? She said, yes. I was like, all right, let's do it. Make sense? Signed her up. Because all of a sudden I felt the position of leverage. Because she's willing to make a commitment in school, right? How many hours does it take? I mean, come on. I was in school. How many of you guys are in college? We're in college at one point. Okay. How much of a commitment does it take? You got to show up to class. You got to read the book. You got to do this. It's like, come on. It takes a total commitment almost. I didn't say don't ever be a nurse. I said, can you put it on hold for 90 days? Get real, dude. 90 days is not going to kill you. Are you willing to make a sacrifice like that? Yes.
What if it's coming from somebody like me? I can't really tell my friends that.
Why not?
I feel like my credibility isn't strong enough.
That's why you leverage off of edifying. Just say, right now we're working with a person who's a 7-figure income earner. This guy's mentoring and coaching people and taking them through a 90-day bootcamp program, and he's going to get these people to make at least $1,000 a week. That's what we're looking for right now. Are you telling me you're not willing to give it a shot for 90 days, honestly, for a chance to make a good income? How many opportunities do you get in your life like that to work with somebody who makes 7 figures? This is a chance that we need. And we need to really identify this opportunity, right? Do you guys see how you can really go out there and talk to people? I love it because you're not asking for a major commitment, because I think that what people are afraid of is not how much they have to do, but for how long. All right? Like, let me give you an example. It's kind of like this. When you say you got to get your bachelor's degree, 4 years, people are like, I can do 4 years. When you say you got to get your doctorate degree, 10, it's just like so long. You're like, I don't know, man. How much more am I going to get? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just so long, like such a long period of time. Okay, let me show you guys something really quick. This is something that I wanted to show, and it's very important for you youngsters. Okay, let me show you. This is pretty cool. I don't know if you want to show them the screen, or I don't know if they can see the screen. If you guys go to average salary for college, oops. There's a website called PayScale. Have you guys ever heard of it? Okay, so type in average salary for college graduate 2013. This thing's gonna blow your mind. Okay, at night I always like looking at stuff. So have you guys ever known, like, you're on your computer? There was like a little Facebook cartoon about this, where he's on his computer, he goes, guess I get time to go to bed. And he closes his computer, and then you see him with his head under his blanket and he's on his phone still. That's me. I kid you not. Like I close my computer, like, all right, it's time to go to bed. You know, like I'm still looking. But this is a full list of the schools in this nation. It tells you starting salaries and it tells you mid-career salaries. You guys need to have a level of posture, man. Do you guys know what great opportunity we have in USANA? You can seriously go. Tomas is a living example. I'm a living example. There's so many great living examples of people who go from zero to making $2,000 a week. Or forget that, to make $1,000 a week even within their first 3 or 4 months. Do you know that that's possible? I know for sure that Abby, some of you guys are just looking at Abby and saying, I know, well, Abby's a gold and I want to see how she's doing it. Let me ask Abby really quick. This is for the people on the call. Not to put Abby totally on the spot, but I think this is going to be a good question though. Have you made a total commitment in the past 90 days? I mean, 100%, like you dropped everything to do USANA. The answer is no, but she's still doing pretty well. Okay, Liz, have you made a total commitment in 90 days? You dropped everything, you gave up everything. The answer is no. So isn't that encouraging then? Because I can only imagine, had she made a total commitment for 90 days, where the heck she would be. It's possible that she could be at almost 2,000 plus a week, right? It's possible to get that far. If you look at when Abby started her whole growth spurt, I can remember, it was right here in my living room. We were listening to Jim Rohn with Alexis, Arabelle, and Lindsay. That was like day one. That was like the pre-launch almost. And then once the gold run got going, we were making almost a total commitment during that time. But see, that wasn't a 90-day commitment. How long was that commitment? 4 weeks. See, it's not long enough. Had we gone pedal to the metal all the way through, maybe it'd be different. No, but still, we're not in a bad place. You guys understand? Like, I'm not trying to take away from Abby. You guys gotta understand, like, she's doing well. I'm just saying, it's possible to make big income in a short period of time if you're fully committed. Okay? Now, let me show you guys something to give you guys perspective. Everybody here, I'm sure, deep down in your hearts, you believe that education is very important, right? Yeah. Okay, and it is. Okay, it is very important. All right, but if we're talking about an opportunity to make big money, though, big money, and that's what we're talking about, or you don't have to sacrifice 20 years of your life, or 10 years of your life, or even 5 years of your life, where you literally don't have to sacrifice like hardcore 90 days, like really, really hardcore, and then from there, do the follow-up events that Eric Rory's going to talk about. Is it worth it? Okay, so that's what I want to know. Hey, not to everybody, but to the people in this room and the people online, I think it is. So here's some perspective. Princeton University in 2012, I think it was, let me see real quick. Yes, 2012, pay scale 2012 to 2013. Okay, so just to get their perspective. Princeton University is the highest paying university. So people that come out of Princeton, they make the most. All right? Starting salary out of Princeton. Now this is for basically all types of degrees and majors that are coming out. $58,300. That's how much you're going to make coming out of Princeton. Starting mid-career, $137,000. That's a Ruby director. That's a solid Ruby director. Okay? Now some of you guys are saying, yeah, I know, but we're talking about, you know, a career that's changing lives, not just selling vitamins, man. Do you guys understand? Like, well, hey, it's all the way you view USANA. I feel that I'm making an impact, you know, helping people with their health, helping people build self-confidence, which I think is a big deal, helping people build communication skills, helping people become more ambitious, helping people achieve their financial goals, helping people have more time freedom, build residual income, build an asset, build a retirement plan. Hey, I feel pretty productive, okay, with my life. So, anywho, the reason why Princeton's ranked #1, and if you look at Harvey Mudd College, it shows that they make more starting, but in mid-career they don't. So by the time you're mid-career, which is what, 20 years in?
40, 50.
Isn't that, I'm saying 20 years in is mid-career, because you work for 40 years. So mid-career would be 20 years after you started working. 20 years later, you're making $137,000. That's mid-career average salaries, right? 137 grand. Would you dedicate 20 years to USANA if you were only going to make 137 grand? That's why some people would quit. I know some people here who are like, I've been doing USANA for 4 years and I'm still not making 100 grand, man. Hey, mid-career salaries, dude, at Princeton, bro. You're telling me you're making 137,000 at that point, okay? So let's keep it going, all right? Harvey Mudd, Caltech. Caltech used to be the bomb back in the day, right? They're still up there, but 67,000 starting out. USNA, not USANA, okay? This is the United States Naval Academy, all right? So it's something else. 72,000 starting salary. That's pretty good, all right? Military Academy, West Point, 76,000. MIT. I mean, when you hear MIT, it's like, whoa. Am I right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. What's more impressive? I work at MIT, or I graduated from MIT, or I'm a Ruby director at USANA. What sounds more impressive to your family? You see what I mean? But look at the numbers, though. Mid-career, $118,000. What sounds more impressive? Two-star diamond director, or I graduated from MIT and I'm an engineer? MIT. Hey, but I'm schooling these guys. Does that make sense? So my whole point, and I guarantee you, these people that are making 118,000 mid-career salaries are not working 20 hours a week. Can we all agree on that? These people are putting in 40, 50, 60 plus hours a week. And they can be fired like that. Okay? Now, I like how it puts this. Percentage with high job meaning. So some of these guys have bogus jobs. I don't know. I can't define what they mean by that. I've looked it up. I can't really find it on here. But this is pretty good. So this gives you an idea. Okay, Stanford. Somebody says, I'm going to Stanford. Whoa, sorry. I mean, 58,000. That's what we can expect is starting out. Right? And you can break it up into all schools. You can break it up into engineering. You can break it up into Ivy Leagues, party schools even. You can break it up into private schools, state universities, anything you want. Is that cool? All right, so do you guys want to say anything? And you guys can even start breaking it up into careers, like which major they picked. Okay, you can start identifying that way. I like when you click on one of the schools here. Let's click on Princeton, for example. If you guys click on Princeton, you guys can see the median salary, right? Here we go. Bachelor's, doctorates, master's in business administration. Look, even the highest paid position, highest paid level of education is 178,000 with an MBA, master's in business administration. Dude, I'm telling you, these guys are getting schooled. I'm schooling these guys. Twice as much as these guys. This is a big deal. And somebody will say, well, don't brag about it. No, I'm saying, but when somebody goes to Princeton, what does it? Well, I graduated from Princeton, and they give you an Ivy League handshake. Does that make sense? Like, you got to put things into perspective, guys. Know that we have a solid opportunity. And that's why Eric Worre says what? It's a stone cold fact that we have a better way. I think he's right. That's why he keeps saying it. All right. And anyways, so you can see like people obviously defending, like, well, hey, be fair, and all this stuff. But you can really break it up. Different employers. You can look at different, like if they're engineering majors, if they're accounting majors, if they're. So I'm not trying. Hey, I didn't make this website. I'm just pointing it out to you guys. Okay. This is what I feel, and I'm trying to transmit when somebody talks to me and they say they have it all down. Because I really want to make sure that we're putting things in perspective. You guys have to see that network marketing is a freaking amazing thing. It truly is. We'll get into that more next week when we're building your belief. All right, back to it. We're almost done. Okay, we get into flashbacks? I'll tell you, man, for the first week, I think we were going all out. And then after that, we kind of, it wasn't the same, but we still put in at least, I would say at least part-time. At the very least part-time. But we were only there 2 months. And we were still able to accomplish so much within those 2 months. But you see, we didn't even do it the way we were supposed to. We dropped the ball. I'm telling you, now it's clear. Have you ever met somebody who says, hey, I want to be successful at this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Have you guys ever met someone like that? I've been doing this business a long time, and I come across a lot of people like that. And whenever they do, I just don't know what to tell them. I just tell them, well, you gotta make it happen. Just come on, hit it hard, do it. Okay. So, anyways, any comments on this? Any questions? Some clarity? Now we've been sitting for a while, so this is where it's the law of diminishing returns, right? Like now you've been sitting here, you're not paying as much attention anymore. Some fatigue is starting to set in. You're like, I'm just letting you know it's the truth. This is why I tell you guys, being engaged is very important to really, really focus. Yes.
Is it just going to be a Super Saturday, or what's the name of the event going to be?
We went to the Jordan Camper event, and I feel like it was very good. Okay, there were some things that I would change, but if I want to give it like out of 5 stars, I would give it 3.75, maybe 4. Okay, it was good. It wasn't great, but it was very good. So we're gonna try to at least put on a very good event just like that. Okay, so it'll be like a next level university where we bring in great speakers. I'm not talking about where it's just gonna be like, okay, we'll have Mike speak and maybe we'll get Dr. Kanye to come and we'll throw somebody else up there. Like, no, it's not gonna be like that. Like I'm gonna get the best speakers to come down because we're gonna sell the event correctly. Do you think if we packed the room with 500 to 1,000 people that we couldn't get anyone in the world to come up? Right? That's the whole point. Get corporate sponsorship, right? Have them pay for the event, right? Fly out the best of the best. I'm talking about the number 1, 2, 3 money earners. For 1,000 people, we could really shake, rattle, and roll the USANA world with 1,000 people like that. I'm sorry. See, right now, I'm not making that declaration to you guys, but in my heart and in my head, what am I seeing? I'm seeing 1,000 people at this event. And as I start to see who's with me on this, it's going to materialize into a reality. That's why today was just the introduction, to see who's with me on this. Like who really wants to go after it. Okay, any questions? Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, for clarity's sake, you know how he says that when you're recruiting during the pre-launch stage, you want to get as many people into your inner circle?
Yeah.
So we're doing this, and lay it all out.
Yeah.
Are you in, or are you out? Right. Can you give me an example of what you would say? Just so that we get a good grasp of it.
So that was the question that Hector kind of asked before, right? He was asking, what is the detailed description exactly? Okay. This is where we really need to meet up with the people who are going to make that total commitment. Because I think it's going to be different for everybody. Do you guys understand? Like, if you're in stage 1, that's why next week is an important training. So if you're in stage 1, you're saying certain things. Like if you're brand new and you're prospecting, it's more like the answer that I gave Alexis. The answer that I gave Alexis, which was, hey, right now we have the opportunity to be mentored by this, right? Let's just say it's Abby. I've had some success with this company for a while, and no joke, it's actually been able to replace like my job income almost. But now I'm thinking, hey, why not go to 6 figures with this? And right now what I want to do is get people on board with my team that can do what took me a year to do, to get them to do it in 90 days. Because I believe that I didn't even put a total commitment through. Do you see? So what Abby's saying could be different than what somebody brand new is saying. Do you guys understand? Somebody who's at a builder achiever level who's making $200 to $400 a week, they could be saying something different. They could say, I've been able to make an extra, just some side money for a while. I'm still working at my job. It's obviously not my passion. And I didn't take it serious because I didn't know if it had the potential for something. But after hanging out with people who are making 7 figures, people who are making $1,000 a week, people who are making $2,000 a week, there's this little 90-day bootcamp program that's coming out on April 5th. And right now I want to get all my close friends and family members involved with this company so that you guys can see it. And I've already checked it out. I'm already making a couple of $100s a week. But now I want to get all my close friends and family involved now. So when we make this 90-day burst, hey, it's possible for us to seriously make an extra $1,000 a week by the end of June. I mean, this is no joke. Do you see? It's like that's the type of enthusiasm that I'd be presenting with if I was talking to people, if I was making $200 to $400 a week. Now, if I was a serious leader already, right? Let's say I'm already a gold director that's making solid $1,000 a week already. Okay, what do you do from there? Well, then obviously there, you're working with your people. Does that make sense? Kind of like what I'm doing now. I'm finding, okay, how many golds do I want to get? And what rank do I want to go up to? For there, it's not really like a financial goal, or it's more just like a status goal. Like you have to rank up. If you're a gold director, you have to rank up. I mean, I would suggest. Or if you're a gold, you want to be executive. Make sense? Or your goal should be revolving around how many new silvers are you going to get. Does that make sense? So if you're in a leadership position already, it changes. Things change around. Now, if you're a silver director or a leadership position, and when you evaluate yourself, you're really not making as much as you have, or you're in a rebuilding process, because some people are like that, right? You hit silver, maybe some team members fell out. That happens. Let's say, for example, you're a gold director, and maybe you had a good run, but now your business is kind of starting to slow down and you start to see that, it's falling off a little bit. Hey, there's no shame in the game to say, you know what, even though I'm a gold director, I still want to put myself in I want to start all over again. I mean, I have a team and everything, and I'm going to bring them to these events, but I'm going to feel like I'm starting all over again. And you can present people that way. You can say, hey, you know what, I was able to build a pretty successful business, but the position I'm in right now is I really want to look for new leaders, because the leaders that I have, they've started taking this business like as a part-time thing. And I realized that if I want to go big, I have to find people who are really committed to making this their priority. So I'm starting all over again. I'm literally rebuilding my entire company from scratch, right? See, that's what I would say if I was a gold director who was rebuilding. So I would say I'm really excited because the last time I got to this level, I did it with no experience. This time, I already know the do's and the don'ts. Plus, we're working with a person who's made a 7-figure income, and we're all getting committed to make this 90-day burst. My question to you is, are you willing to make a 90-day commitment? If I could show you a way where you can make $1,000 a week at the end of this, are you willing to make a 90-day commitment? Hey, I know you got a lot of things going on, but are you willing to make a sacrifice though? Right? And you don't have to quit your job. He said, you can go full-time 8 hours to work and full-time this business. So 8 hours at your job and 8 hours at this business. That only leaves you with 8 hours to sleep, eat, shower, go to the restroom, work out. What else? Play with your kids, all these things. I mean, it's going to be a tough schedule, man. A tough schedule. But that's where you say, you wake up early and go to bed late. That's the sacrifice. For me, I can remember when I was working with Tomas and when I was working with Aaron, I literally remember not getting much sleep. I can remember even being on the phone yeah, okay. Tomorrow, yeah, I'll be up. And even have to wake up early, get showered and ready to leave the house because if I caught traffic, I was going to be late. So I had to beat traffic in the morning and get to the location. And I can remember I was doing whatever it took. I can remember during my gold run, I'm sure Liz is probably the only one that was there during that time. But during my gold run, I can remember going to work at my job from 8 in the morning, getting off at about 10 p.m., going to Cyber Cafe, meeting with prospects, presenting, signing them up, training them. Training would end at 1 in the morning. I would finally get home around 1:30. I'd eat, I'd shower, I'd go to bed by 2:30, and I'd be back up for work at 6 in the morning and back to work. I can remember doing all that stuff, and she goes, "Are you okay? Are you gonna?" And I remember I was just I used to cough. I was I remember my throat was swelling. I'm serious. I remember feeling this swelling sensation, and I was I felt like I was choking, but it was really just swelling here because I was just talking to way too many people. Can you imagine? I was literally dying building my business. I was killing myself. No, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I was working 73 hours on the job. That's what was killing me. 73 hours at my job, and you saw it all out. It was overwhelming. It was really overwhelming. But I thank God, man. I thank God that I found it in me to even do that. I didn't find it. I'm telling you, I believe in the higher being. There was something driving me. Well, you know what it was? I knew that this was my only shot. I think I came to that realization. I knew if I don't make it happen with this right now, I'm screwed. This is my only shot. Because I was working with a guy who made 7 figures. I had the same opportunity that you guys have, right? The guy that was coaching me at that time was $1 million club member in USANA. And I thought, gosh, this is my only shot. If I don't do this now, come on, when am I ever going to have a chance to be this close to this guy? So I took it serious. I went all out.
Today is our final part of our 5-part series on how 9 days can change your life.
Freaking Eric Roy's interrupting me. What is that? All right. Let's go ahead and conclude. Okay, Eric Roy's right. He's like, let's get it going. Let's wrap it up. All right, so this is the last thing, and we want to conclude. This is the last video we're going to watch, and then it's time to go. Okay, so any questions online? Do we have any more questions? Did you guys like it? 9 o'clock on the dot. Look at that. Okay, so we are done with the first training. Okay, so our event, to conclude on this note, our event, I don't want a lot of you guys participating as far as helping us organize that. That's part of why we're charging Crossline members in order to put together a freaking amazing event. Okay, so we're not just going to have good speakers come out. We're going to have great speakers come out. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be energetic. It's going to be something that it's going to be just like convention almost. Okay, but on a smaller scale, but really pumping people up. We want people to to go to the event and just go nuts. All right, like I'm even thinking about getting a speaker to come that's not really a part of USANA. How many of you guys have seen The Wolf of Wall Street? Did you guys watch that movie?
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys know the Jordan Belfort, the real Jordan Belfort? Okay, so I've already emailed his agent. We're gonna see how much it costs. You know, maybe we could get Eric Worre to come down himself. I mean, we're really gonna try to get speakers. That's what we're. So if you guys wondering where's this money going, we're gonna use money in order to make our event look fantastic. Next thing is during the 90 days, something that we're considering, and I think we can stop the recording at this point. So for everybody online, thank you guys very much. If you guys want to